Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your January 2019 reading, and we have a few things to discuss, but since it is Capricorn season, approaching Aquarius season, we are on the verge of making a very big change, and in that change, we're trying to be rational, we're trying to be practical, but also do what we're passionate about and also make ourselves grounded and centered and attracting the right things and making sure that we are staying positive, which can be very tricky for us, as we know. There's a weird thing that goes on with the Aquarius brain. Positivity and negativity kind of just roll all into one sometimes, and we're very realistic. And we're not downers, but we're definitely not, Sagittarius type of optimistic, but we are looking forward to certain things. We need something to look forward to in order to keep us going. First two cards, Wheel of Fortune and Six of Cups, which looks very, very good for January, rolling into beginning of February. So fate is going in our favor, and whatever we're missing in our lives, it's going to become very clear very soon what we need to do in order to feel completely balanced, and in order to feel this abundance of positivity that we sometimes struggle with, or we're on the verge of positivity and realism, and there's a big decision that we have to make coming up. But it's not, we don't need to put pressure on ourselves in order to do that. So let's try to not put pressure on ourselves while we're making this decision, because it's going to be a big change. All right, December 31st, Mars enters Aries, so we're going to feel very spontaneous, and we might feel like running headfirst into this thing that we need some more time to think about. So Knight of Swords is coming out for that. So there's really no slowing us down. When we get an idea, we kind of just run with it, as the Knight of Swords is showing us. But there's also a part of us that needs to always stay realistic and grounded and make sure that every idea that we have, we're not starting it and then not finishing it, because that's just what we do. When we have spontaneous ideas, which is all the time, we jump into that and do it and then don't finish it, and then jump into the next thing and it seems really exciting and then we don't finish it, or even if we do, we're too busy thinking about the next thing that we're not satisfied or happy with, or we're not as happy with ourselves as we should be for finishing that project or that thing that we need to finish, if that makes sense. January 4th, Mercury enters Capricorn, so we're going to feel more practical and organized during that time. And then we have dogs over here yawning. January 5th, the new moon in Capricorn, partial solar eclipse. So we need to be very careful around this time, because we're going to feel the sense of control that we have a hard time within ourselves, to try to feel like we need to control everything. We need to control what's going on around us, and sometimes it's easier for us to just let that go. But the new moon in Capricorn, we're going to have to be very careful with wanting to control everything and being defensive. And when people come at us with an issue, and it might be an issue with us or whatever is surrounding us, we need to maybe work on not being so defensive and ready to argue, because we've been pretty good at that this month. We've been pretty good at being calm in chaotic situations because we've had major changes happening this month, some deaths and some rebirths, and we were very good at handling that chaos in a calm manner. But when the new moon in Capricorn partial solar eclipse happens, we may feel a little bit more like we need to control a certain situation, even though we know that we don't have full control over certain things. But Wheel of Fortune looks very good. The new start to 2019. I hate when people say 2019. 2019 is looking really good for us and looking pretty peaceful. So, January 6th, Uranus turns direct in Aries. So, when it comes to love stuff, we have the Emperor here as well screaming at us when it's turning direct in Aries, because we want to probably control that situation too a little bit. Not like that's news, but if we're in a relationship with someone, we're going to want to kind of we may feel more controlling during that time, or want to control certain situations that are completely out of our hands. So we have to be careful with that when it comes to love. And if we don't have a relationship, then we need to just kind of go with the flow and make sure that we're not trying to control hi Jagger. We're not trying to control the opportunities that could bring us a new relationship, if that makes sense. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't try to force anything to happen, okay? And then on... Jagger's gonna go down here in a minute. On January 6th, or January 7th, we have Venus entering Sagittarius. So there is an intense feeling of love, or needing love, or wanting love, or affection. And we're not doing so bad in that area if we really want it. Ace of Swords is showing us that the way that we think about love is what we get in love. So if we think love is possible and we think that love and true relationships really exist, then that's what we get. If we want to be independent and stay single, that's perfectly fine too, because we don't need to be with somebody in order to be fulfilled. That's the good thing about an Aquarius. We can be single and thrive harder than if we are in a relationship sometimes. So, intense feelings of love. Here's that Four of Pentacles, that need to control and not let go of something. I don't know what we're not letting go of yet, but it probably has to do with some sort of idea with the way that relationships work, especially if you're in one. Trying to let go of, if something's not working out, then it's probably for a very good reason. So don't try to keep pulling this person back in if they're drifting away. All right, 2019 is good for independence and growth and being happy. Let's just be happy. All right. January 20th, obviously, Sun enters Aquarius season. So, it's going to be is going to be kind of like walking into the bright sun after being in a dark room for a long time. It might hurt at first, but eventually we will adjust. Our eyes can adjust very quickly, and so can Aquarius. We can move and shift and make sure that we're adjusting to the situation properly. So if we feel like we've been in the darkness for quite some time, when that brightness comes in and it becomes our season, it might hurt for a minute, or it might bring up some memories that hurt for a minute, but eventually it will look beautiful, and it will be sunny, and it will be our time to thrive. Okay. And make sure that during December and January into February that we are going outside as much as possible, taking in Mother Nature, breathing fresh air if we can, if we're able to do that, going on hikes, going on walks, sitting on your lanai or your balcony or your patio, and try to feel why you're here and what your purpose is, and connect with Mother Nature. I know you guys, some of you guys think that's hippy-dippy, but others will understand. Most Aquarius will understand what I mean by that. We gotta let go of this control. And we will. We just gotta let things happen, man. Like, we can't control everything, even though we want to. And if we're thinking of moving or traveling to a different state or different country, some kind of big jump, some kind of big move, or some kind of big travel plan that we need to make, don't be too hard set on it, because January 21st, full moon, total lunar eclipse in Leo, which is our polar opposite sign, as you guys know, and I'm a Leo moon, so it's going to be a very challenging moon for me personally, as Aquarius Sun Leo moon, but challenging in not a negative way. Let's work on that. Challenging in just a emotional way. And we're going to be very clear about, it's going to bring us clarity about what we really want and where we want to go in life. So if we're thinking of making a move, different state, different country, or even just a different place around the corner, a big move is a move, right? We will feel that sense of clarity and fulfillment and awareness, and recognize what we need versus what we want. So wait till January 21st or after that to really have the clarity about that situation. If we're thinking of moving or moving in with someone, or moving to a different area, or a different house, or a different apartment, or whatever it is. And during that time, when it comes to love and romance, there's going to be a sense of fulfillment, but there's also, so Knight of Pentacles, there's a sense of there's a sense of wanting fulfillment, but also being okay with where we're at, and being okay with the stillness, because we can't force anything. Like I said earlier, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, and we can't be brought down to a pessimistic way of thinking, and thinking that, oh, this doesn't exist, or, that doesn't exist, because, real love can exist. It's just the way that you approach it and the way that you look at it. And if two really healthy people come together, that's great. And it could be a very positive thing. But if we have two people that are in some sort of chaos or just needing attention or needing a rebound or whatever the situation is, then it's going to be a very lonely type of transition or whatever the relationship may be, even if you want to call it a relationship. So pay attention to the relationships that you have, especially during the end of January. And then January 24th, Mercury enters Aquarius. So we're going to be very busy. We're going to have that same desire for knowledge that we normally do, but it's going to be amplified like 80 times. So we're going to be researching and looking and trying to, organize everything and make sure that we know what to expect, and researching different things and learning about new locations or new opportunities or new ways to make money. It's not going to be, it might feel a little chaotic if you're already feeling chaos, but it might be a time for really good progress to be made as well. So let that progress happen. Let it roll. Let it flow. Also, be careful with communicating what you want and what you need with partners, future partners, parents, loved ones, friends, whatever it is. We need to work on communication during this time and communicating our thoughts. So we have the Leo card coming out here, strength, of course, and feeling like our inner strength is what will pull us through our darkest hours. And, all we have is, in the end, all we have is ourselves. And all we have is our inner strength. And if we're okay with where we're at and our stillness and we're okay with our progress, or if we're okay with having a slower progress than maybe we're putting pressure on ourselves to have, some of us may be perfectionists and put a lot of pressure on ourselves as Aquarians, especially during the full moon total lunar eclipse in Leo, because it's going to feel like maybe out of whack, cattywampus energy. But if we look deep inside and we really discover, okay, this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I'm here for, and we start thinking in that way, then we will start to make progress out of our stillness, and we will start to flow with what we're meant to do and who we're meant to be with. Okay, let's pull from the Moonchild deck. If one comes out, great, or two, or however many come out, I'm just going to read for that, okay? Let's see, Moonchild deck, Aquarius. And thank you guys so much for watching my channel and subscribing. It really helps keep the channel running. YouTube is weird with analytics and things like that, so the more subscribers, that's how the game works, I guess. You have to... I don't know. I hate asking for that. So, thank you guys. If you want to subscribe, great. If not, no worries. And, of course, if you guys want a private reading, my link is down below. All my information is down below. And follow me on Instagram to possibly win a free private reading. Aha! In the Moonchild deck, we have Ace of Swords. How beautiful is that? Ace of Swords. We have it twice. There is that clarity that we've been looking for. This is it. We will get it. We just have to wait towards the end of January, beginning of February, leading into, obviously, Aquarius season is when we're going to get this, the clarity and the new ideas to make us thrive and not feel as chaotic. But, okay. I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next month for our Aquarius season reading, or I will see you on Instagram. Bye, Aquarius.